In Lesson 115, we're going to cover mail merge of envelopes and labels. That's the primary task, and then you will have one final chance to merge a business letter in block style. First, in Lesson 115, take a look at 115E, Merged Envelopes and Labels, a short paragraph here indicating that this is very similar to creating a set of merged letters. The main difference is that your main document is a blank envelope, and an envelope with a return address, or a blank label rather than a letter with generic content. A new data source can be created and used, or you can use an existing data source. We are going to do the word processing manual activity 115F. Notice there are, again, on the left, some corrections that need to be made in your word manual. In this lesson, you will find, beginning on page 196 in your word manual, that the 4 basic steps of a mail merge still apply. You have a main document, a data source file, placeholder fields that need to be inserted, and merging the two into a new document. So after you review all of the information on page 196, 197, 198, 199, and 200, turn to page 201 and then click Start Work. In the first part of this exercise, you will create the data source file, practice 115 data envelope for the main document, and then practice 115 main envelope for envelopes. Close any other Word files that may be open outside of GDP. Turn on Show Hide. Create a new main document for envelopes. This is the hint, and this is the step that trips up a lot of people. From the Mailings tab, Start Mail Merge Group. Use the Start Mail Merge button and choose Envelopes. From the Envelope Options window here and the Envelope Options tab, make any desired changes and click OK. Notice that the default size for the envelope is size 10. We're not going to make any other changes right now. We're going to edit the return address in the main document envelope to this. Notice your insertion point is blinking up here in front of the paragraph mark that looks like it's in a different style. Now we're going to save this, our main document, as. So that means press Save As. You can use the F12 function key. Move to your safe location and type Practice 115 Main Envelope and save. Now we're going to create a new data source file with the information shown in the table there on page 201. Go to the Mailings tab, Start Mail Merge Group, select Recipients button and click Type New List. AK for Alaska, tab, and 99801 for the zip. Be careful to leave blank the extra fields that we're not using. Then press New Entry and type Mrs. Maud Arthur, tab to type 200, Chopin Plaza, tab to city for Miami, tab FL for Florida, and 33131. Now you can click OK. From this Save Address List dialog box, we're going to save the data source file as Practice 115 Data Envelope and save. On the envelope data source file, they didn't tell us about this one. It should not be data source file, it should be main document. Click in the blank line where you would normally type the inside address, right here in front of the paragraph mark. And from the Mailings tab, write and insert fields group, click Address Block. You can make any edits here that need to be made. We don't need to make any, so click OK. If you find that your address block button is dimmed, you're going to go back to page 190 and read about how to fix that problem. Now move to page 202 and come up here for step 10 to preview the results. Make sure that you don't have any typos in your data source file. If you do, you need to go back to the data source file and edit those. Let's go to the next record. Okay, that's a good preview. So in step 11, we can, from the Finish group, click Edit Individual Documents. That means you are finishing to be able to edit individual documents. And here, notice you can set the specific records that you want to merge. We have a very small data source file, so we're going to click just OK. Now we have a new merged document, and this is what it should look like. Okay, now we're going to save this merged file. Click F12 for Save As, and be sure that you are in the folder where you want to save all of your documents, and change the name to Practice 115 Envelope and Save. Close the file, and now notice we're back to our original document. It will look more like that if you turn off the preview so that you have the code there showing on your main document, the placeholder code. Click Save this file as Practice 115 Main Envelope. That is filled in for us. Click Save and close the file. Now we are ready to create the data source file for the main document for labels. We're going to start with a blank document this time. Let me show you what I should have done here. When we close this document, we're going to use this command so that Word stays open. Now we're ready to open a new blank document. You can press Ctrl-N or use the menu here for New. We want a blank document, so you can click Create. And our next step is going to be to save this main document with the designated name. F12. This is Practice 115 Data Label. From the Mailings tab and the Start Mail Merge menu, you're going to choose Labels this time. And from the Label Options window, Label Vendors, click Avery US Letter. If it is not already showing as your option, notice that there is a whole menu of choices here, and you are to select Avery US Letter. Now under the product number, there is a window, and we want to scroll down to find 5160. And here we are, Easy Peel Address Labels, and it indicates the sizing over here on the right. Click OK to create a page of blank labels. And if your grid lines are not showing, be sure that you go to the Layout tab and click View Grid Lines. Let's go back to the Mailings tab here. Now that we have gotten this far, we're going to save this as our main document for the labels. Save as Practice 115 Main Label. So be sure that if that title was filled in for you, that it says Main Label. I had to make a modification. Click Save, and now we move to create a new data source file. Select Recipients and type New List. Tab twice to address line 1, skip address line 2, click New Entry. The actual exercise that you are to complete in Lesson 115 for labels will have more than 2 addresses, but this is sufficient for our practice exercise. Now if you will click OK, we're going to save this list as Practice 115 Data Label. Be sure that it is being saved in your data sources. Click Save. Now click in the first label cell. You can already see the insertion point blinking there. That was automatic. This is where the inside address would normally be typed, and from the Mailings tab, Right and Insert Fields group, we're going to click the Address Block button. Now, it says in Step 12 that you can highlight the merge field placeholders and edit as needed. I am not exactly sure what that means, but we're going to go on to Step 13. To include the same address block placeholder field in each label, from the Mailings tab and right in Insert Fields group, click Update Labels. We're going to preview our results. If we had more than 2 records, the entire sheet could be filled in. But we have 2 and they seem to be filled in correctly. Now from the Finish group, we're going to click Finish and Merge to edit individual documents, All, and OK. Now notice we have 2 documents here, and they might look the same to you, but remember that the first one is your main document with the preview showing. We can turn that off to keep them straight. And on our merged document, we should save it as Practice 115 Label. And it should look similar to this. Okay, now save your main document as Practice 115 Main Label, and you can return to GDP. These particular documents are not uploaded to GDP. You have just saved them on your own computer for your own use in case you want to come back to them. Okay, that should prepare you to complete the documents that are assigned in Lesson 115. I may be able to make short demonstration videos, but I also have a demonstration document with screenshots that might guide you through those assignments. This is the last new thing that we will be doing in the course. In Session 14, you will have a chance to apply some of your creativity to the remaining assignments and share those with your classmates. I hope that you will do that and vote on what you think is best of show for the newsletter and flyer in that session. It's been great working with you this semester, and I'll see you again next week.